the individual karma that may manifest through the group. What brings two people together out of this, the 7 or so billion people to live together, to share themselves and to make a family. That's karma. That's a certain karmic attraction. There's another way of looking at that, which for most of you is also difficult, is that's deva, sharing devas. It's not the way that most people think of themselves, because I think of themselves as the body and the motions that are coming into the manifesting through the body, and then the mind that has been developed. But all of those things, mind, emotions, body, are devas. The devas are being shared, and you are actually carrying with you devas that was given to you in a former life by an individual, and you now have to give back the deva, or the deva wants to get back to where it truly belongs to. And so this exchange of devas, and that's what people call love, their sexual attraction, or whatever it is. It's interesting, is it not, to think of it that you are deva constructs, not human beings. What is the human being is really the soul that's incarnated and is utilizing that deva construct for a particular purpose. And what is the purpose? Is to gain experiences, to gain the experiences that the soul needs so it can get liberated. It's interesting to think of the soul, which I call in my Buddhist books the Sambhogakaya flower. Now, most, my later books, I just used the term, but in the earlier books, I've had to explain the meaning of that. And so in volume 3, I give that, a great explanation. And matter of fact, if you want to learn about what the soul is, you go to my Buddhist books, volume 3 of my Buddhist book, and there you get more information on the soul, which the Buddhists don't believe in, than exists anywhere in the world, in any book, except maybe DK's Cosmic Fire. But I even give much more there than that, which is quite a paradox, is it not? Buddhists don't believe in a soul, but the whole philosophy teaches of a soul, which is the Uttara Tantra of Maitreya. That's what it's all about. And so that whole book is on that particular subject. But the earlier books lead up to that. I explain the foundation of that. Why a flower? Because that's what the soul is. It's majorly a 9-petal lotus with 3 bud petals, and it's evolving. And why Sambhogakaya? Because the Sambhogakaya realm is the higher mental plane, which is where the soul resides, the abstract mind. What's it doing? It's gaining experience so it can be liberated. Liberated into what? Sunyata. It's and the very heart of the soul, the jewel in the heart of the lotus of the soul is Sunyata. It's quite an interesting. See, the soul is a mechanism that contains Sunyata within a form, because Sunyata, of its own accord, would act as a nuclear bomb, blowing Sunyata, blowing samsara into nothingness. In order to contain Sunyata, it needs a form, and the only form that can be built to do that is the soul form that exists on the high mental plane, because Sunyata is the energy of Buddhi. So the whole Buddhist philosophy revolves around this, but they've carefully had to weave their philosophy to try to avoid speaking about it directly, only indirectly. The Enlightened knew, but it's not in the, it can't be obviously seen in the exoteric doctrines. So we're getting back, to I'm saying that, and what is the soul itself? DK calls it the solar flower, or the solar lord. It's a deva. It's a deva construct again. It's what's in the jewel, in the heart of the lotus, that is the human. And that's linked by an antakrana or sutatma to the monad. And so there's a line of energization from the monadic or the Buddha, which is within all of us. But in the book, of course, it's called the Buddha womb or the Buddha germ. That's what the soul is. It's a womb or a germ whereby the Buddha consciousness or the consciousness of a Tathagata arises, evolves, or is contained. It's quite an interesting thing. So what is the human form? You can see, whichever way you look at it, your forms are illusional. Samskaras flowing through from past lives, going to the future. And this is the concept of a serpent. And then later on, as you're more and more enlightened, the serpent grows wings, it becomes a cockatrice, and then the cockatrice evolves into a dragon. And eventually by the fifth initiation, when you're a master of wisdom, you're a dragon of wisdom. That's the alternative phrase for it. And the master of wisdom is a liberated soul or a completely liberated being. Next step is Buddhahood. The only thing that's preventing a master from becoming a Buddha is the fact that there's service work to be done. Bodhisattvic sort of vow means that they stay on this earth because there's disciples that need to be educated. And they need to be able to train one other person to become a master before they become Buddha.